That, Madeline. Thank you very much. A safety alert this afternoon. Those of AAA project another record-breaking holiday travel period. It's almost like we say that every year. Yeah, let's get a look at some of those numbers. From this past Saturday through the New Year's Day, AAA projects 122.4 million Americans will travel at least 50 miles from home. So more than 109 million of those, they're going to be traveling by car. In Missouri specifically, 2.1 million people are expected to hit the road and 5.7 million in Illinois. And for both states, that's a 2% increase over last year in the number of people who will be on the road. So the question is, how can you be your safest self this holiday travel season? We are so happy to have Sergeant Clark Parrott with the Missouri State Highway Patrol live in the studio with us today. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you for taking the time to be here. Obviously, whenever we are talking about such a busy, high-volume situation on the roads, there's a lot that can go wrong. Is that right?
Yeah, and one of the things that we encourage people to do is, between today and tomorrow, take your car to a reputable garage, have it serviced, check your tires, your wiper fluid, the wipers. The time to find out that your wipers aren't working is not whenever it's raining. And, we just encourage people to make sure that their car is ready, but also all those numbers that you talked about, make sure that they're mentally prepared to travel. Make sure that you get some rest. And if you're going to drive more than 3 or 4 hours, get out of the car, stretch your legs a little bit so that you're not driving fatigued.
And also whenever we talk about being stopped on maybe the side of the interstate, a busy area, I mean, what do you do if your car is broken down?
If your car is broken down, first and foremost, turn your flashers on and stay inside the car. Don't use that as an opportunity to get out, because the interstate is going to be extremely busy with the holiday being on a Wednesday this year. Thursday, Friday are going to be extremely busy through there, and we're anticipating a lot of people taking 3, 4, 5-day weekends. So as you talked about the numbers, they're going to be really high. But if you are broke down on the side of the road, turn your flashers on. You can dial star 55, which will ring into the nearest Highway Patrol headquarters, and tell them where you're at. Please pay attention to the road signs that MoDOT puts out there, and we'll get a trooper out there as quick as we can, but we're also going to be out helping others that are stranded on the side of the road, giving directions, things like that, because our number one priority is to get you and your loved ones from point A to point B as safely as possible.
Now, does that same behavior apply if you're maybe stuck in a work zone?
Yeah, work zone, just take a big dose of patience before you do that. And the number one thing to help there is to download the MoDOT travel app.
Sure.
Go to wherever you get your apps from and put that on there, and it will highlight, especially if you get up north of here, up around Festus, St. Louis area. That has been a construction zone for about 4 or 5 years. So it shouldn't really confuse anybody. But again, knowing that there's going to be a lot more traffic out there, pay attention to what you're doing, because we want to make sure that this is a time that is a celebratory situation, not one where somebody's involved in a traffic crash or anything like that. And our fatalities right now are 5% below last year, and we want to continue to drive that, because this will put us about 3 or 4 years in a row where our fatalities have gone down.
Well, that is good news that we are seeing a decrease. Still sad news that they are happening, but a decrease is exciting to see. Well, we appreciate you taking the time to be here, Sergeant Clark Parrott with the Missouri State Highway Patrol. This guy is a regular here on Heartland Afternoon, and unfortunately, this will be my last time interviewing with you here behind the desk here on Heartland Afternoon, so we have to reveal a secret real quick. We use these boxes because he's like 8 feet tall.
I don't have a box.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time to...
Is that better?
Yes, better.
Yeah.
And we also want to go ahead and send things over to a...